Hello, welcome to my channel. So for today's video, we have yet another foundation video. So many foundations have come out, and honestly, I haven't purchased the majority of them because trying new foundations makes my skin go crazy. But this launch I was very excited about. This is the Milk Makeup Flex Foundation Stick. I also picked up the new Flex Highlighter while I was at it. So if you want to hear my thoughts on these two new products as I do a wear test today, then just keep watching. We're going to start off with the foundation stick. So this is called the Flex Foundation Stick. As far as my previous experiences with Milk foundations go, I do like their blur liquid, but it's not really my favorite, to be honest. And personally, I just think it's too matte for me and a little bit too thick. I like their skin tint, but I always felt like they needed something in between, and I'm hoping that's what this is. And it came out in a stick form, which I'm very excited. So just so you know what this is, a medium coverage natural finish foundation that covers, calms, and flexes without creasing or caking. The ingredients are marshmallow root extract, which is supposed to allow the formula to move with your face and never crease or cake, blue lotus, which is supposed to be moisturizing to the skin, and chamomile and lavender, which helps soothe and calm the skin. So all of these ingredients sound super bomb for my normal to dry acne prone skin. I normally don't mention this stuff, but since it is in front of me, this product's vegan, cruelty-free, gluten-free, and comes in recyclable packaging. So I picked up two colors, light beige and light medium. I'm hoping I only have to open one. So light beige is light with neutral undertones. I definitely have a skin tone that runs more neutral. I also picked up light medium with neutral peach undertones. Let's try light medium because all of my foundations have been running so light on me. So I am going to start off with the Milk Makeup HydroGrip Primer. I don't know if this is going to be hard because it has a lot of stick to it, but it is a milk primer, so I'm assuming it might be able to work well with the milk product. So I'm actually just going to put it on one side of my face. Maybe we'll see if the primer makes it last longer, makes it look better, if the foundation just agrees with the product in general. And I'm just going to start on this side of the face because I want this primer to kind of settle into my skin a little bit more. So really quickly, the packaging is simple milk packaging. It's not a magnetic closure. It's a snap closure, and you open up the top and you twist it to get the product out. It's pretty simple. It feels very secure and well made, because sometimes, especially with drugstore products that have similar packaging, it's like loose and it just doesn't feel as sturdy. This feels very sturdy. So this is supposed to have a natural coverage, so I probably just put way too much, but it does not feel like it's blending onto the skin super smooth. I like to use sponges to blend the product out, but you know what? It's not blending out too difficult. This right off the bat is not the most emollient type of foundation stick. I definitely am adding pressure to blend it out, and for some people that might be a turnoff. To be honest, it is a little bit of a turnoff to me. I really love a super emollient foundation stick. And let me add it to the other side now. So as you can see, I just want to show you, I'm like just tapping, and it definitely needs a little bit of force to blend it out. Let me try using my hand. So one thing I do have to admit with foundation sticks is using your hand can be good, just because that warmth of your skin is really helping it blend out. And I don't know if you can tell, but this has pretty decent coverage, definitely that medium coverage that they were claiming online. I'm getting more full coverage, I would say, using my finger, and as I went in with the beauty blender, it did kind of take away a little bit of coverage. So using the sponge though, it definitely makes it look less cakey on the skin. When I use my fingers to blend it out, I feel like I can see the makeup sitting on top of my skin rather than blending into my skin. So even though the warmth of my fingers provided a little bit more coverage, the ability to blend it more, I just think the finish is so much prettier with the sponge. And here is my problem area on my face. I'm gonna add a quick little extra coverage there. So I feel like in this application I definitely applied a lot of product. So this has more of a natural to medium coverage. It's not light coverage because I definitely got coverage, but just from initial application it does look really nice and natural. It has a very natural luminosity to it. Even luminosity might be too strong of a word, but there is just, you guys see it, that little natural glow. Definitely medium coverage, can be buildable in your problem areas. I did have a zit up here, you can kind of see it, and then over here it's pretty much covered. It is a little bit more sticky on the face, like it doesn't feel like it dried down to a powder finish or anything. We will give it some time to see maybe if it does need that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to apply the rest of my makeup, and I'm just going to fast forward through it so you can see, because I think it's really important, since I do have a lot of other Milk products, to see how they all work together. Okay, so I finished my base makeup. I have to say all of the other Milk products definitely laid very well on top of the foundation. Everything is looking really natural, nothing broke up. I am very happy with how my skin is looking. Of course, with the powder over, it did kind of take away a little bit of that natural radiance, but that's to be expected. So we will see throughout the day if that radiance kind of peeks through. Looking at the range online, there are 36 shades, which I think is a good size range. Now, it's hard to tell because this is online. It's looking like it could use a little bit more in the depth department, but I don't want to speak just by looking on the online colors. I find Milk generally to have kind of weird undertones in their foundation, so I'm feeling very happy that I did find my first pick, which is a decent undertone, a little bit too peach, but for the most part it matches my body and that's all I care about. Okay, so now it is time to move on to the Flex highlighter. I picked this up while I was already ordering the foundation. This comes in 4 shades, so you have a rose gold, a bronze, a soft gold, which I almost got the soft gold, but I ended up with the color Lit, which is a champagne color. This is described as a silky pearl and gemstone packed pressed highlighter that glides on smooth without creasing or kicking for a next level glow. This is $28. I forgot to mention the price of the foundation. Wow, this is the crappiest review ever. The foundation, by the way, is $36. So the packaging is all white, sleek Milk packaging. It has a magnetic closure, which I really like magnetic closures for compact. This is what it looks like. Super pretty. It has this embossment that says Flex. It has hyaluronic acid in it, crushed gemstones for the radiance and gleaming, and again that marshmallow root extract that's supposed to make the formula move with your skin. It feels pretty smooth. It doesn't feel, you know how some highlighters feel so creamy that you pick up so much, like it almost feels thick? This doesn't feel that way. My finger glid across the powder. Ooh, really pretty. I love a good champagne highlight. Just using my cheap little Morphe highlight brush that I always use, and okay, that's really quite lit, as the name leads us to say, and that applied beautifully as well. So I think this is a really good highlighter. It's not emphasizing texture. I will say it doesn't look quite as smooth or as seamless in the skin as, say, my favorite Dior highlighter, but it is really pretty. It applied very smooth, and I'm just gonna kind of blend it in to see if I can make it look like it's more a part of my skin rather than sitting on top. So blending out is really helping with that, and it's looking much more natural as you kind of blend it out. I definitely kind of went in on the powder, so I think I would suggest maybe using a little bit less and really working it into the skin, because now this is gorgeous. So far, really liking this highlight. So I'm gonna finish my eyes because my ABH Jacki Aina palette just came in. So I'm going to play around with that and I will be right back. Alrighty, so I'm back. And yes, I just threw the new Anastasia Jacki Aina palette on my eyeballs. I went for a neutral look because I'm just going to the airport after this. I didn't really have time to sit down and do a colorful look. But yeah, so far it's really pretty. But that's not what this video is about. Now that everything is applied, I am absolutely loving both of these. The foundation looks absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to see how it wears. It covers really well. The only downside to this, I would say, is that it's not the easiest to apply. It definitely kind of tugs at the skin a little bit, which is not my favorite aspect in a stick foundation. But once it is blended out, it does look beautiful. I do worry over time how this is going to go, if it's going to get harder and dry out a little bit more. Hopefully not, because the finish on the skin is beautiful. It's way different than the Soft Blur liquid, which is much more matte. This one looks more skin-like. It hasn't gone into my fine lines yet, and I'm loving it. As far as the highlighter goes, this is a really pretty highlighting formula. I really like that you can kind of customize the glow that you want. So you saw at first how I had that really blinding concentration of color, and once I blended it out, it really sheared out to just a beautiful glow. So I'm actually quite impressed with this highlighter. So it's about 1 o'clock. I am about to go to the airport to pick up my boyfriend. I will take you along with me. I'm so excited to see how this makeup wears, and let's get to it. And I am on my 3-hour check-in. So it's looking really nice. And what I'm impressed by is there is no creasing in my smile lines. It does look like some oil starting to build up, but it's not bad quite yet. So we will see in a couple hours. How do you think my foundation is looking?
Amazing.
Alright, so I will catch you guys in the next check-in, but so far, so good. Alright guys, so here is my 6-hour update. So definitely my makeup is starting to break down a little bit. I would say around my mouth area, it is looking a little bit more makeup-y. And then as we get closer to the smile lines, they definitely are showing, but it did take a few hours. So I think it did a pretty good job as far as smile lines go. I mean, the makeup is starting to look a little bit worn. It's nothing bad. I mean, it has been 6 hours, which is a pretty long time already for makeup wear, but I would say that it's holding up pretty decent. My skin is back to that really natural, pretty radiant finish, just with a little added oil, but I'm still liking it. I'm not mad at it at all. I will check in for my final check-in in a few hours. It has been 8 hours now, so I'm here for the final check-in and my final thought. Right now, here's how my face is looking. It's definitely time to take the makeup off. There's little to no coverage. Can you stop being a... Are you done?
Yes. I'm not.
So there's little to no coverage over here. It's definitely broken up around my nose. It's dug into my smile lines. I'm looking just a little bit rough. It's almost completely off my nose. So I wouldn't say that this is the most extremely long wearing foundation. By the way, as far as the primer versus no primer side, not too much of a difference throughout the day. The only thing I worry about with this foundation is that it does tug on the skin a little bit, so I worry that it might dry out over time, so we'll see how that goes. But I did really like it for the first 5 hours. I felt like it was a really good foundation, but after it hit that 5-hour point, then that's when things started to look a little bit tired, especially once we got to the 6-7 hour range. So I definitely have some foundations by the end of 8 hours. It looks pretty good. This is not one of those. But I mean, overall though, I'm really liking this. I think it's really good. I have normal to dry skin. I think this is good for normal to dry skin. I think oily skin, you can pull it off, but you definitely need to powder it. For a while, I could see the flexibility that this had without creasing, because it did take a long time to crease. So I'm very happy with that. So I do really like this foundation. As far as the highlighter goes, I know I didn't talk about it in my updates. It's still looking pretty good. It did fade a little bit, but it has been 8 hours. But I really do like this. I mean, of course, we all have so many highlighters. $28 isn't the most expensive highlighter for a giant pan, but it's still $28 for a giant pan of highlighter. And I feel like at this point, we all have a lot of highlighter. highlighters, but it is a good quality formula and I don't regret purchasing this. I don't regret purchasing the foundation either, so I'm very, very happy with this release from Milk. They have great products. So that is all I have to say for this video. I hope you found it helpful. Let me know if you picked these products up. If you are not subscribed to my channel, I hope you take the time to do so, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys, have a good one.